Hello everyone. So we have our news for the week, so let's go through everything. Maintenance, normal time as usual. Ending with maintenance is the Exostars challenge and the raid event. So if you haven't gotten through those, last chance before maintenance. This week we essentially have a double banner. So we're getting a premium Neo Vision, a regular Neo Vision, and an NVA Awakening. So premium is going to be Knights of Grandshelt, a unit that I know a bunch of people have been waiting for. And as far as the other one, it's going to be Final Fantasy VIII. So we get Rinoa and Lone Lion Squall NVA. So we get logins for both of those. We get the exchange shop for both banners. So there's fragments in the Final Fantasy VIII along with the Mystery Crystal and Master Crown. As far as the knights, none of that seems to be there. So no fragments, no crown or anything. So cash summons for both banners. Doing the bonus Lapis and EX point for the general Lapis only bundles if people actually still buy those. Miscellaneous updates. So Quake is getting upgraded. And then only certain units will get +3. That's going to be Rinoa. I think she's going to be the only one with a +3 Quake, at least for now. Fountain of Lapis is coming back. We're getting new heroic quests. So a couple of the items. Leftia Sandals, 30 Magic and Spirit, 5% mana per turn, 10% mana while walking and explore. And it looks like Leftia only gets an ability to restore mana and boost resist to everybody. Ailment resist. Let's see, Runda only gets what looks to be an accessory, 800 health, 30% health, nullified death, stop, and charm, which is actually, that's quite useful overall. Have's Garb, 40 magic spirit, gives him triple black magic. Really, the nice thing there is triple black, but we do have the ring to give quad black to pretty much anybody. And this is for Have only. And we're getting an adjusted fixed dice. So we can turn it back to almost the original. So I believe it was like a 0.6 to 6.5 with the one attack original variants. So we can turn it into the restricted, which is Setzer and Dashing Gambler Setzer only, one attack, and 1.2 to 5.6 variants. So they close the gap a little bit there. And then looks like the other one is just keep it as is, which is 123 attack and 0.6 to 2.1 for anybody. So you get a little bit of a choice, but I mean the bigger variance rolls is Setzer only. With new units, we get new vision cards. So first up, Knights of Grandshelt. So premium unit, which means we only get the one at EX3. And overall, for an attacker unit, a very strong card. 130 attack, so that's going to be the highest flat attack. 80% attack, 100% LB damage for attacker units only. And 500 attack for attacker unit only. So that's not series locked. So really strong card, but again, premium unit, which means you have to get them to EX3 to get a single copy. And then for Rinoa, she's not premium, so level up card, we'll get 2 of them if you get her the EX3. 100 magic, 50% magic, 25% LB, and 500 flat magic for Final Fantasy VIII units only. We're getting more story. So from the regular story stuff, we should be getting more Runda fragments. So I believe we should be able to EX2 Runda with this next set of story. So we'll be able to get his nice shield. And we get the final chapter of the return. So this is what the knights are coming with. It's just a little bit more story that we've seen. 1 or 2 fights in there probably. And then at the end, we'll finally get the vision card for the event. Getting a Chronicle battle for Final Fantasy VIII. So for this, lets us upgrade the sword, which for Final Fantasy VIII only units, it looks like they'll get 100 machine killer out of it. It's got 50 for anybody, and it looks like it adds just another 50 for Final Fantasy VIII only units. 160 attack's not bad. One-handed sword, I believe it is. And then Lionheart Plus gets upgraded, which is really nice. So it goes to 190 attack, two-handed weapon. For Squall, versions of Squall only, 750 attack and 25% LB damage. And everybody else gets, I believe, 25% LB damage and the 50% double hand. I believe that's what's on it already. And Final Fantasy VIII is coming with a King Mog event. So, one of the rewards is Zell. And JP, he got an NVA. So far, there's no notice of him getting anything. We'll see, because it looks like there's a couple more units, so at least a week 2. We'll see if they do anything for him. And we're going to be able to upgrade his TM. Fist weapon goes to 180 attack, which isn't all that bad. And adds Man-Eater Plus, 75% human killer, which is nice. The usual bonuses, all the new units. So they're letting the knights be a part of it as well, because they're coming out in the same week. And then we do have our Ancient Dinosaur Challenge here. So another Mystery Crystal, which now that we can use them is quite handy. Alright, so first banner, Final Fantasy VIII, Rinoa and Squall's NVA on the focus. So non-premium, 10 tickets to Pitier. It's what, 42,000 Lapis, I believe, going through. So she's got a shift. And both forms, pretty much magic attacker. She's locked in. She gets 4 turns in Brave Shift and then has to wait 4 turns. So super is quite nice. Throwing weapon, 237 magic. Rinoa gets 500 flat magic. Everybody else can get 75% bird killer and bug killer, it looks like. And then her regular trust is Final Fantasy VIII units only. 500 flat magic and then like 50 to every killer. 500 magic EX, should be EX3 on that as usual. And Squall, he is a super limit burst unit. And we'll take a look at what they look like on JP. But we can take a look at the other banner, which is Knights of Grandshelt. So premium unit, which means about 60,000 Lapis to pity. You need 20 tickets. So they are also a shift unit, but they're not true brave shift. So you shift and you get 4 turns in their shift. Super, great sword, 220, two-handed weapon. Knights only get beast, get 500 attack, and then everybody can get 75 beast and dragon killer out of it. Regular trust, demon and human killer, when equipped with a great sword or katana. Now, it does say that their limit burst is upgraded, so we'll have to see just what kind, or if it's just like a large sword in peril or something. Unfortunately, we won't know until data mine on that. But we can take a look at the JP side and see what they look like. So for knights, overall, they're a pretty strong unit, pretty much focused on LB finisher. They will be, I believe, the strongest LB because they can use Tyvus's Spirit, which will technically push them over Esther for just flat damage. But they are locked to light. So in the base form, I mean, they get their light boost Magnus, light chain move, mirror frames. They get chain boost for the lower end, which is nice. 200 to pretty much every killer with their trust or super, plus an extra. So they'll be maxed out on demons without anything else. So base limit, great sword in peril of 20%, 80% defense break, 125 light in peril. Gives himself 150 LB, and it's a 200x one hit. And then in the shift, so they get a bolting move as well, late locked, absolute mirror, non-elemental, same Magnus, and then they get their late locked absolute mirror move. And the big thing is their limit burst. So it stacks once and goes to 370. But it also does a great sword in peril beforehand with the decreasing light by 130. So 220 base, one stack of 150 for a 370 maxed out. And because they stack like that, there is an option of using Tyvus's to make them go a little bit higher. And then also with the note that they're getting a global upgrade. Not sure what they're upgrading. I mean, they could be upgrading the damage, they could be upgrading the imperils, they could be adding something. We won't know until the data mine on that. But overall, they are a pretty strong unit. The only downsides to them really is they're locked to light. So, I mean, they might change that to non-elemental for global. But locked to light and stuck not true brave shift. All right, so next up, we can take a look at Lone Lion's NVA. So he gets a Magnus boosting fire and dark damage for himself, which is interesting because I don't remember him having any kind of dark in imbue for himself. But he also reduces fire and dark. I'm assuming it's just to pair him up with Rinoa because she's dark focused. So bolting chain, Stardust Ray, modifier is not super great overall, but he does get 85 defense break there. So one nice thing at EX2, he'll be capped out on true double hand and chain cap. So that makes gearing him quite nice. EX3, he gets 1,000 attack, which helps a lot. A little modifier to some of his elemental chain moves, I believe there. And his super limit burst, so it breaks defense and spirit 87% first, 130 fire and dark in peril, gives him 150 beast and human killer, and then it's a 120x mod with 50 ignore, so that's a 240 mod. So he'll be able to do a decent amount of damage as long as we can get his attack up high enough. So decent unit overall there. Kind of like Titus for the most part. And Rinoa. So she's shift. So you get 4 turns in, and then you have to wait 4 turns to shift back into the shift. So she gets her Magnus, boosts dark damage, boosts magic, and everything like that. So I assume this is imbuable. It's hard to tell with the wiki side sometimes. But 100x magic, 10 hits, so might not have any chain families already assigned to it. Does have a decent amount of beast, dragon, human, and bird killer. And then she gets her quake boosted, 120x there. She gets +3 on tornado as well. And her base form limit is a tag move and 150x 27 hits. And it looks like that's imbuable as well. And yeah, with her TM or Trust, she can evoke a Dark Field. Should be 30% Dark Boost when she summons Diablos. And then her shift, so she gets locked into Dark Magic, but it goes up to 200x on her one move there. She gets an extra Dark move as well. So one hit, Dark Magic, 275x to all enemies. She still has her Quake, Tornado, and everything there. And then her shifted limit just boosts her a bit. So she gets 400% magic. She gets 375 modifier to a few of her spells. I believe this Dark Magic Nuke is one of them. And she also gets 300 stored magic for one magic cast as well. So overall, she's a pretty strong dark finisher. Not sure if we'd really use that 10 hit ability or not. If it changed with Stardust Ray, that's a maybe. Otherwise, it's its own chain family and would probably be a pain. But that's pretty much what we can see as far as what's coming. So both units are pretty decent overall. A little annoying that we're getting them both in the same week, but it is what it is on that. As far as myself, I'm just going to be using up all my EX tickets. We'll use up whatever 110 Neovision tickets I have and just see what I can get there. Anybody that decides to pull for the units, I wish you luck. So that's pretty much it. So we're going to end this video here. Hope everybody enjoyed.